And even then, just being able to deny off so many creeps from Alacrity, certainly going to pay dividends here for Mac.
Yeah, it's just not the best lane for the Wind Ranger, and even at 4 now, with a little bit more points in Wind Run, you're really not trading that way anyway.
Well, Ben Sawyer ends up finding first blood onto Nuts up at top lane, and CML ends up going down at the bottom lane. But Adroit did manage to get the first blood before CML went down. So you definitely call that a win in Adroit's books, and it was really just the pos fires both dying. Standard stuff.
Yeah, not the biggest loss in the world. I think Natsumi will actually enjoy having a little bit more space here. CML has been stuck at 1.
You can't run that far up as a lion like this, and he's dead.
Ooh.
It's the poison touch though, right? Like, once poison touch is on top of you as a lion, you see the Fisher come out of the ES, and that's it, you're dead. Like, there's no way out of it.
Yeah, it's like, even with the brown boots, you just can't run out of there fast enough, and this is something that RR is going to have to contend with. With the levels up and running on Adroit, the aggression from this lane means it's going to be harder for Drew to find that safe farm, and his last hits are already suffering.
Even bot lane, KOXY ends up going down as well, as Natsumi with the Dragon Tail and CML with the Cold Feet do lock him down. It's going to be 2 more kills going to the way of Adroit. And even Drew, on this Spectre, he has to be so careful. That level 2 poison touch, you can't underestimate how much damage you can make out of it, especially if you keep refreshing it over and over again. And he's just going to continue to just spam Spectral Dagger to secure CS here in this safe lane for now. But Boomy's a constant threat. You know he has the Fisher, you know he can go at any time, and speaking of, he might just go right now with a great block with that Fisher, but Drew, Spectral Dagger, no, it wore off. He can't get the free pathing off, and now Hustler going to rotate in, but Drew is definitely going to die, and Hustler, can he at least find Boomy? No, he gets juked out, he thinks he's gone north. Truth was, he just stayed in the exact same spot. And that'll make it a 4-1 now for the side of Adroit.
Yeah, it's a fantastic start for Adroit. They are keeping the Spectre in heavy check, although they might lose out on Boomy now.
Shards are there, perfectly placed, although Boomy's still being a real nuisance here, but does finally end up dying. Nuts the one to pick up the kill, and it's actually some decent timing here from RR. They will be able to secure both the top bounty runes, and even... yeah, they'll get a 3-1 on those bounties, because there is still 1 left on the Dire side.
Yeah, it's a pretty good boost for them, although down mid, Roar onto Alacrity.
Well, they just saw him use his wind run, so there's no way of him getting out of that situation. In fact, I'm not really sure what he was doing that far down into the lane. But Alacrity, those are kills you can't afford to give away right now. The rest of the team is already having a tough time as it is. They're depending on this Wind Ranger to set a pace for their team, and if that keeps up, he's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's not been the best of starts for Alacrity. I look at the last hits on Mac, 41-8. Whereas Alacrity's just down to 28-4.
Now mid lane, Boomy, he just rotates in.
Oh.
Cold Feet there onto Hustler, and they will get the kill. Alacrity, the focus fire, and a nice shackle shot does secure the kill on the AA, but now the ball's slow. He just used the wind run. Boomy gonna be there with an enchant totem stun. Alacrity needs another wind run, but it's up in a few seconds. Still a great stun from Nuts. Does get the 2-man, and that'll be enough. But it's just such a close call for RR, almost losing that Wind Ranger again. Had Raw been up, that would have been a guaranteed kill on Alacrity.
Yeah, and even if Alacrity lived through that, they did have to drag the supports in to back him up as well. So the side lanes are going to be suffering. You take a look at Drew all alone, I don't think that's a position he wants to be in on the spec.
Definitely not up against the Dazzle, who already has Necro 1 books, by the way. That's some fast timing on that Dazzle. They are going to go onto Boomy top lane, but another great Fisher coming out from Boomy. Still, he will drop. CML trying to protect his Dazzle. Ben Soy going to be able to walk away from this, but CML may not be so lucky, though. Another great Earth Spike, but they do lose Nuts. There goes CML as well. Now a Roar being committed straight onto Alacrity, who does wind run and just try and run away, but it looks like he probably will tick out to the Poison Touch. Maybe he gets a deny off on these neutrals, but he... yeah, you can't channel the power shot like that all the way if you want the deny on the neutrals.
No, definitely not. And Adroit again, finding the favorable trade in the end, but you've got to fully disengage now. Can't fight into the Aegis And you've got the blink up in Boomy. So he can do what he just did a while ago a lot more often without having to wait for them to snowball first.
Back. Raw gonna be there. Easy with the Hawk Vision. And Hustler tries to snowball, and he will go down. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Alacrity, what are you doing there, sir? He got fished up, and Natsumi just gonna take him out with the Breathe Fire. And you know, Fnatic made RR call GG in 18.5 minutes, and I'm kind of wondering if Adroit is trying to race Fnatic in making them call it earlier, and they are. They're going for a tier 3 tower.
Yeah.
This could be sub 15 minutes.
It's RR. I don't know if they can fight back. Right? They need Drew to have to join in, but he doesn't have anything.
Well, the Racks being under siege, they just don't care. You know, we mentioned this in the draft stage. You've got a Dragon Knight Beastmaster. This is going to happen, and now Nuts on that support line does die. Natsumi just kind of rushing forward like, what are you going to do about me? He's got an Aegis anyway. And now, up to the top lane. You'd think this was about 33 minutes in, John. We're still 13 minutes into the game. They will eventually leave that be. Is Drew gonna cop an Ice Blast from a map away. Nobody's there apart from Boomy, but can he do it himself? He's got more help coming in. Boomy now has the blink up, does get the enchant with the Fisher, has Echo as well. There's creeps around. Even his own creeps working against him right now. Poor Drew. How dare they? And mid lane, Hustler gonna die as well. KYXY being chased down right now by Natsumi. And there's just nothing that can be done. They can't...
Yeah.
They can't stop this. Guardian Greaves are now up on the Dazzle.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Just the amount of farm on Ben. So he's number 1 in net worth. I've never seen the Dazzle pull this far ahead. I don't think we've seen it in a while. And you're not even at level 18, so you're not even maximizing the bad juju cooldown reduction for those Greaves yet.
No, you aren't, John. Currently they are sitting at a 29.6 second cooldown, but that's going to go down to about half of that once he gets to that 18 mark, if Bensoy ever does. The game lasts long enough. The Droid are going for another tier 3 tower, they just don't care. We may as well bring up the buyback status while we're here. You just have no D push. You've really only got the power shot. And right now that's doing nothing.
Nah. They're trying to split push with KYXY, but I don't think he's going to find any objectives for his trouble.
Raw goes out onto Alacrity with the Ice Blast. Nice snowball save, however. They're going to go in now with the Haunt. Bensoy already kills off Alacrity, though. They will find the trade with the finger onto Bensoy, but now KYXY also going to die. Alacrity will buy back here, coming back on the win range, but now Drew is being surrounded. Nice fish around coming from Boomy. An Earth Spike through the Dragon Knight, but there's no damage. It's a double shackle there as well, but you have no DPS to follow up with. There are 3 heroes now with no buybacks. And Nuts and Alacrity both just bought back. And that's a second Rax at almost 16 minutes into the game. And they're not leaving the base. They are not done.
Why would you? You still have everything you need. You've got the Aegis up and running. You're gonna have the Slam up again. It's been that long. There's no reason to pull back. They've got all the tools available, and you really just need to wait for Dragon Form to be up. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
No, that,
GG's been called. I don't blame. I mean, you can't though. That's the thing, right?
No.
Drew just doesn't have enough farm. It's not his fault. You haven't bought him enough space to really do anything.
No.
That was for Pugna, as we expected. And I like the fact that they're actually just going to bring it up against that troll. You can just grief his last hits over and over again with Decrepify, and it really does become quite frustrating to deal with. Like, it's already hard enough trying to last hit up against a Tide Hunter. But then you got this Pugna just decrepping you every 2 seconds, making it that much harder.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. And additional thing on top of that, Boomy has the taunt, so you can decrep and taunt, and there's really nothing you can do. You're gonna have to rely on Nuts to perhaps purge it off of you. So there is at least a purge here to kind of settle those early control pieces. Just a bit. You're limited by your mana pool here.
Another thing is as well though, Boomy, just with that harassment from a mile away on the Pugna, like, it's gonna be hard for Nuts Andrew to sustain this. Just look at Boomy, he can just harass for free. He's not trading at all. They come close, I nether blast you. The worst they can do is Fortune's End like that. But ultimately, that's not gonna mean much. And even Boomy just comes in for a casual gush onto Nuts, just really dishing it out to them early on at that level 1 mark, emptying their mana pools. Getting through a lot of regen already for RR.
Yeah, and it's not as hard for Drew as it was in game 1, for sure, but this is still not a very free lane for him, so we're not going to see the best timings from him, but at this point, I'd take decent timings for our troll.
You look over to that mid lane as well. Alacrity should arguably have a pretty decent time here on the Monkey King. Up against that Void Spirit, as you know, Monkey King generally enjoys those melee matchups. But for now anyway, Mac has actually been in front of the last hits in terms of this mid lane. So far, Alacrity hasn't really been able to force him out of the lane very, very much. He's trying to stack up those Jingu Mastery procs here. But Mac is doing a really good job of just aggroing the creep wave towards his tier 1 tower and just finding CS under that tier 1 consistently.
Yeah, and he's also really heavily abusing his Resonant Pulse, so it's harder for Alacrity to try to go for an all-in, simply because there's a lot of turn potential from Mac.
That there is. Of course, down at the bot lane, the one we haven't looked at quite yet, you'll see KYXY there on that Enigma. You're playing up against the Gyrocopter lane, which Natsumi again has the wave clear for those Eidolons with Flak Cannon. And he has actually opted to max the Flak Cannon first, which, you know, is to be expected. He pops it now. Eidolons will go die. In fact, they'll be denied off by KYXY himself. But that's not really what you want when you're playing Enigma. Like, you're trying to deny your own creep wave off, not your own Eidolons.
Yeah, it's not the best of times for KYXY. I think that shows in his last hits. He has 12 denies, only 9 last hits, and Natsumi's still finding farm. He's 16-5, top on the board right now.
Oh, Drew almost dies. He does get away with about 5 HP, but Nuts does find the first blood before going down himself. Ben Soy dying on the Tidehunter to the Oracle. Still, the thing is, you've left Drew there with no regen now. So, you found the first blood. That's great news for RR. I just get worried now for Drew, as looks like he got a salve on the way. That's alright. He'll be back in the lane.
Yeah, it keeps him in lane, but it eats into his economy. His last hits are not too bad, but it's certainly not like our Gyro, and he's being harassed out again.
It's just bound to happen though, right? This is one of the real strengths about that Pulse 4 Pugna. It has a huge attack range, has Decrep Nether Blast, huge burst damage. And Ben Soy is making a rotation now. Trying to secure the Invis rune here as the Pos 3 Tidehunter, which is not something you see very often.
I think he's a Pos 4 now. They've just kind of relegated him there, and Boomy's just full on the core this time around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Boomy's the offlaner now. Fair enough.
Support Tide. Like, that's a treat you never see.
I guess. Nut's going to be chased down here. Drew going to make the chase, but there's that Decrepify. Now Nether Blast won't be enough. Nuts, he does use his stick and heal himself up. Nice juking in that tree line, but Ben Soy knows where he is still. He does go down. The gush at the end was enough. And Drew trying to chase Boomy down, but he has Decrepify again. If he really needed it. The truth is he doesn't.
No. It's a tough time for Drew. And again, this is still better than game 1, I want to say, but it's not better by much.
Bot lane as well. Hustler ends up losing his life on the Earthshaker. Make matters worse, it was Natsumi who picks up the kill on that Gyrocopter. And speaking of Natsumi, John, his farm is just fantastic. I would dare say the only person you have to defend that is Alacrity right now, and he can't do much at the moment. It's level 8, doesn't have the Wukong's command skilled up yet. Meanwhile, bot lane, it's going to be a double Astral Step coming out from Mac. Nuts in big trouble and does end up going down, and now poor old Hustler going to be chased. Meanwhile, a call down up onto Alacrity, who does throw out the Wukongs, but Oh, nice mischief dodge on that Nether Blast, but Boomy has life drain now. Alacrity trying to run away. He is surrounded. He will go down. And now KOXY trying to get out of there. He does have Black Hole, but there's no point throwing it out. He's going to die anyway. CML will be the one to pick up a triple kill on the support AA.
Whew. Yeah, that's a big boon. They will still lose Bensoy bot, but you've traded the mid node. You don't lose Bensoy. What?
No, there's just quick rotations coming out. Drew will be the one to go down. No battle.
Yeah, he's actually giving chase to the Eidolons as well. Not a safe spot to be in, Boomy.
Yeah, they've got Black Hole. KYXY could commit right now just to secure that Pugna kill. But Boomy surviving. Now Alacrity's going to be in trouble.
Oh, man.
And the tips come out for Alacrity. And Mac, he'll just keep going now, spotting out KYXY. Hustler, Fisher, not blocking him out, but rather blocking Mac in. Again, you can still try for that Black Hole. Maybe they do now. KYXY trying to find the angling here, but he's waiting too long. The Ravage comes out, and now you lose KYXY on the Enigma. TP cancelled from the Troll as well. Hustler, he's going to get dived here by Mac, and he will end up dying, as Boomy will just heal him up through that tier 2
More
tower.
vulnerable in the middle of these fights, and again, Adroit just walk up the high ground, do a lot of damage to the tower, and nothing to really stop them. This is not much commitment from them to get the damage out as well.
Well, you've got a Satanic there on Natsumi as well to make matters worse, although they do block him up. Now KOXY does commit the Black Hole. That's one way to take him out, but the Pugna is going to heal him up through this. Now Natsumi just running away. Ravage is there from Bensoy, connecting on everyone in the back lines. Still, they're fighting back RR. They buy back on that Earthshaker. Hustler going to make his way back into the team fight. Mac trying to run away. Nice Fisher out from Hustler, just getting the stuns out. Echo as well, just to ensure they can secure this kill. And ultimately, it wasn't the greatest fight for RR, but they hold on. And that's all that matters right now for them.
Yeah, they definitely do hold on to their bot racks. They managed to find enough gold to give Drew his basher up as well. So there's more damage and more control coming out on our troll. It's just that Adroit at this point aren't really pushed back, and Alacrity.
Rather Boomy, he got fished up, or Natsumi gonna run into Hustler. Ice Blast is just perfectly placed, and Hustler's just dead. Homing Missile, just gonna give him a bit of a tap. It's gonna be Drew though. He does find CML on the AA, and now Natsumi gonna be forced to just fight. Call down is there onto 3 heroes. He still has his Satanic, but doesn't have Flak Cannon right now. Now this will be a huge pick-off if they could get it. Nice Boundless Strike. Primal Spring as well, but Natsumi has the BKB. Satanic popped as well. Still running away here. And now Mac will come back in and start a team fight again. They will find 2 straight off the bat. Alacrity still fighting back with his own BKB. Natsumi just won't die though. Decrepify comes out with the life drain. And poor Alacrity will die. And this gyrocopter is just unkillable.
Yeah, they've just really dedicated a lot to keeping him alive, Natsumi, and it's just so hard to take care of it. Like, the fight lasts long enough that Boomy's back to give him the life drain once more. And now they can just go high ground. No Black Hole, no Slam to worry about. Nothing to
kill him off, but now the buyback is there from Mac. Alacrity trying to come in. They'll find CML. Now the Tide going to be in trouble, but here comes that buyback from Mac. Echo committed on the Tide Hunter. This is a support Tide though. And now Mac may feel comfortable to just go back in with Natsumi. And that's exactly what they'll do. Drew is in huge trouble right now on that troll, and he is probably going to die. As Alacrity, with the buyback, throwing out the Wukong's command with the BKB. But they can just walk out of it and apparently just jump back in here. Bensoy just doesn't care. They fight him in his own arena, and he will lose.
Ooh,
is that just GG?
I mean, it's 80 seconds without the monkey. You don't have Black Hole. You don't have Slam.
Well, 50
that
seconds
might be
without
it.
the troll as well.
Yeah.
Surely you just go straight for throne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they do.
All right. Well, Adroit just going to go ahead and take it. I guess they'll go for another kill into KYXY, who's dragging things out a bit here for his team. Doesn't have the Black Hole though. Can only really spam Midnight Pulse. They are going to get Megas and the tier 4s just at the same time, just in case. But
Oh.
Mac just jumping in with that double silence with the Resonant Pulse. And now Nuts just going to get blown up. Life Drain going to be there on KOXY, but he will survive through it. But Boomy's not done. He wants the Fountain Dive this. The Ice Blast, not really on point, but they are going to find KOXY just before the game ends.
Oh, man.
And that'll be it. In fact, they're going for more now. Just keep diving that Fountain. Drew trying to fight back, but Natsumi. He's just fine, and the GG has finally been called. Adroit will win this series 2-0. And unfortunately, John, RR, they go 0-4 today. Not a great way to start off day one.
No, definitely not. We've seen them struggle for a while. It looks like those rough days aren't over yet.